Hey guys, I'm here at the lounge in Davao, headed back to Manila. So I just finished my talk here just to give you an update on what happened in the market. So there was a quick move up in the final minutes of trading. However, we're still down to the downtrend. Now, here's the thing. A lot of flights for the day. So I met Gus Cosio, who's one of the relatively tenured stock market analyst here. He's been investing since the 1980s. So check out his thoughts on what's happening in the market. Check out his thoughts if you are down and out, if your stocks are down, what should you do with your portfolio, what stocks are worth buying. And I hope that whatever he says adds value to you because he's one of the more experienced market investors here in the country as well. So I hope this helps you. Hi guys, I'm here in Davao and we're in for a treat, guys. One of the luminaries here when it comes to stock investing, equity funds. I'm talking about Gus Cosio. So, for those who don't know, he was my teacher also in Ateneo. I don't know if you remember that. That was probably 9 years ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
The Ateneo program for stocks, and I really learned a lot from you, and I want to honor you because the things that I've learned also, I've learned a lot. Yeah.
I still do the portfolio management module. Yeah.
Okay. I think you also did.
I did one in College of St. Benilde last week.
Okay.
I'm doing one in University of San Carlos in Cebu next week.
Oh wow. And I think you talked about derivatives at that time. It was one of the best explanations of derivatives that I've had. No,
thank you very much.
Derivatives normally is. I think it's a bit complicated to understand.
Very complicated.
But you were able to simplify it in a way also. And when you did your blog, I think you had a blog 10 years, 10 or 9 years ago also. Very insightful in terms of the markets. So here's my question. The market has been down from almost 9,000.
9,200 actually.
Late January.
Yes.
To where we are right now, that we're still in the midst of a downtrend. For investors that have bought at a high amount, what do you think they should do right now since the market is still bearish and then volumes have been very thin the past few days? What should they do?
Well, this is my observation. You know that I'm always watching the market. So I noticed that a few weeks back when we hit 6,900, there were very few sellers already. Okay. At this point in time, around 7.4, yes, some people can come out and sell, but you notice that as we go lower, the supply of selling really dries out. That's because at that point in time, values are pretty attractive, and there's no point selling. As a matter of fact, when values are attractive, it's really a good time to buy. Unfortunately, people don't want to buy when things are uncertain, in spite of values being good. So what I would advise people who are holding stocks right now is look at their stocks and at current prices if values make sense. For example, Metrobank came out with their second quarter report today. Gee, it's trading at book value.
Wow.
I saw a report just as I was sitting down here. I saw a broker report, and the price to book or the book value is 71 point something, 71.6, and it's trading at 70. So can you imagine a huge bank like Metrobank with so much profitability? Very high net interest margin, very high loan growth, trading at book value. That's, you can sit on that and just wait.
But is there a possibility that since over the past months, foreign funds have still been moving out, that this might still drag oil funds?
Well, this is what I'm seeing. The sellers, the foreign sellers, are being met by local buyers. Because at this point in time, local buyers understand that some of these valuations are really, very attractive. They're like, the PEs are now below their mean, below their 5-year mean. So, some of these stocks, like for example, Ayala Land, the earnings till 2020 is already secure.
Yeah.
So.
And at around 37, it's very, very low in its PE range already.
It's very low.
Yeah.
It's historically low in its PE, and NAVs haven't changed. So you know and remember, property companies you also have to follow the NAV, and this Ayala Land is very high NAV. So you know you can be quite selective. The banks, I like the banks. You know, I like the big three, and I like. I like some of the property. I think valuations are pretty good for those.
With interest rates have moved up from 3% to 3.5. Will it take money off equities because of the possibility of higher yields from
it's actually a different market that you have, because you know the people who are in the equities market are really in the equities market. They're not really taking money out of the equities market to put it in long-term fixed income portfolios. What they're doing is, if they've taken money out, it's really to generate cash such that they would have enough purchasing power when values are very compelling.
That's a good insight. Actually, people would normally say that this will drive money towards fixed assets, but no naman, it will actually.
Well, this is my view. No? My strategy between now and the end of the year is a balanced strategy. But balance doesn't mean that I'm going to commit I'm going to commit to long-term fixed income. Why? Well, interest rates are still rising, so that means that long-term fixed income instrument will still have some downside risk. Okay, so if I'm having a balanced strategy, that's probably putting money into either money market funds or just short-term money market deposits. No? So that is probably going to be my strategy for the next 2 to 3 months. But I believe that sometime in the fourth quarter, especially if values persist at these levels and we see earnings come in, and I'm judging from Metrobank's earnings in the second quarter, I think we're up for good earnings in the other companies.
Do you think there's still a possibility of raising rates to 3.75?
Oh yeah. I think I was reading the news today, and Governor Espinilla was saying that they're going to be more aggressive, more hawkish in monetary policy. And I think, if I remember right, they're keeping an eye on foreign exchange, because pesos becoming too cheap, I think.
Okay.
If you ask me, it's too cheap right now.
Actually, are you under the notion also that we can hit 55 against the dollar?
I mean,
as well?
it's very difficult to put a number on forex. Because forex, is among the most volatile markets. So I would say that right now we're cheap. The peso's cheap. If it gets cheaper, then it becomes more attractive.
Okay.
Remember, cheap is attractive, no, to investors. So it becomes cheaper. It will attract more. But I think foreign investors, for example, would be more compelled if they see a more stable peso, i.e., if it stops depreciating.
Can I ask more questions?
Sure.
One of the fears among a lot of investors is inflation.
Yes.
BSP projected 4% in the upper range. We hit 4.8 last month. We hit 5.2, which is way above a lot of the projections. Will this weigh down the markets, and will this temper down, especially consumption stocks?
Definitely, inflation is a damper on the market. It's a drag on the market, and I think that's why Governor Espinilla has started to speak hawkishly on inflation, because I think, I don't know, I mean, the market thought that they were behind the curve. So if he's responding to that, then the market will take it well. And if the market takes it well, what that implies is that we'll probably see more stability in the peso moving forward. Will it go to 55? Perhaps, no? But if it becomes more stable around between 53 and 54, that's still a cheap peso.
savings.
cheapness.
Do you think that it has the ability to temper down a lot of the Jollibees, the Robinsons Retail, the Pure Gold, or because they have such a strong brand that people will still spend in spite of this jump in prices? Kasi para I've been thinking that Filipinos are hardwired to spend more, that mababawasan lang yung savings, but these companies will still earn?
Yeah, I think so. Because because consumption spending will grow with GDP. GDP is expected to grow, on the upper range of 6%, maybe even on the low range of 7%. So that means you're putting more money into people's pockets. The regional wage boards increased wages, no? I gather here in Davao they raised it by, if I remember it, by a little over 50 pesos.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
more disposable income.
So I mean, wages are catching up with inflation, and I don't think there's going to be some others see that there's a demand pull inflation happening. Probably it has happened already, if you ask me. So wages will probably just adjust the spending power of people. I think prices have already adjusted upwards. If it's going to adjust upwards further, will depend on the percentage increase of the dollar from 53.5, which where it is right now, diba? So even if you have a 50 to 150 increase, percentage-wise, that's like 2 to 3%.
Okay.
And the correlation between inflation and foreign exchange is not really 1-to-1. It's really a fraction of 1-to-1. So I think conditions are still going in favor of consumer spending.
In terms of sentiment, what should people be more concerned of? The trade war between China and the US, or what's happening here internally in the Philippines?
Well, I'd be more concerned what's happening internally. Remember, in the greater scheme of things, in the global market, we're a very small player. So the thing is, domestic savings is already a lot higher than it was 10 years ago. So there's really enough money to be poured into investments coming from local sources. It's just that the involvement of Filipinos in markets isn't really
not so much.
Yeah, it's not that much. So people like you, you're doing a great job, getting people to understand investments, and it's like physics. The potential energy is there, but for that to be translated to kinetic energy, meaning for the movement, need some kind of a stimulus.
I was shocked pa nga that there was a disclosure that 300 plus online accounts in the stock market, but there's already over 5 million coins.ph accounts for Bitcoin in the Philippines. I actually don't know why are people in
Bitcoin.
Oh, it's more volatile. It's scary. Your money can go to zero.
Exactly.
Why do you think people are into? Do you
I don't like cryptos because I don't understand it. People are there. Many do not understand it, but they think that they can make money. They can make quick money. But one thing to understand is that you can, if it's quick money, it's also quick losses. Nothing comes for free. If you want long-term involvement, I think there's better opportunity, and it's much safer to be in the equities market. At least you know the value. I mean, I don't understand the value of crypto. So.
And you get dividends if you buy a good company, sit on it.
Exactly.
You get passive income.
Look at Meralco. Meralco was under 320 billion per share. It's 358 or 357 today. You get good dividends, and the market's down. Meralco's up. Or the market's down, but Jollibee's up.
And I think they'll reap the benefits of higher.
Yeah.
Lastly, any tips for people who are, I don't know, there are a lot of, since the market's down, a lot of people have been losing money, what's the best advice for someone who's been very long in the markets already?
My advice really is to mark your portfolio to market and make that your starting point. Okay, forget about where you bought it. It's not important. No? By marking it to market, you're theoretically taking your losses, but keeping your portfolio. Remember what Peter Lynch was saying. The best stock to buy is probably something you already own. So make sure that your portfolio have good quality stocks.
Okay.
Market to market, so you know what your starting point is now. No? Rather than nurse the idea that you're losing money. No?
So if, for example, they're holding Ayala Land, Jollibee, then they have probably Cemex and probably Surpass. They sell those and then just use the cash to position on the better stocks?
Well, if you like Ayala Land, why should you sell it?
Okay.
What I'm saying is that, you know, if your portfolio was 100,000 and it's now down to 80,000, then tell yourself, you know, the 20,000 is gone, I'm starting at 80. And then you become more objective. Diba? And then when you start that, you say, okay, on an 80,000 portfolio, what do I have? I have Surpass, I have Ayala, etc., etc. What do I like or what do I don't like?
Okay.
What I like, I keep. What I don't like, I take out. And then use the money, find another stuff that I like, or add to something.
To that position itself. Okay.
Yes.
Very good, very good, very good. So that's it. We're here in Davao Airport. By an unfortunate delay in his flight, nagkasabay pa kami sa lounge. So that's it. Thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of people will learn a lot from that as well. So thank you.
Sige, Marvin.